All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Work Experience, known as Work Experience Education. So it's WEE, we, welcome to we. All right, why are we here? Success. I want you to be successful in your current jobs. I want you to learn how to be a better employee. I want you to be successful in the future. So that's why we're here. If you're cool with me, I will be cool with you. What that means is you have a lot of freedom, and it's very cool that you only have to come to school for 6 period, only 1 day a week. And so that requires that you be very honest with me about what you're doing with your job status, so on and so forth. So if everybody shows up on time and is cool with me, then that allows me to be very relaxed with how I treat you guys. On the other hand, if people start lying and trying to sneak in late, it makes it difficult. So don't do that. Let's make it easy. All right. So if you were here in the class, you're supposed to ask a neighbor of this in class. So if you missed the first class and you're watching this video, you're going to probably have to hunt somebody down and ask these questions and take notes. We're going to turn these notes in. All right, so we meet on Tuesdays. So the idea is we meet Tuesdays, and the rest of the week you peel out and go to your job. We'll talk a little bit about more of that later. This was just to make sure you could get logged into the Novell network. If you don't know how to, try this. You might need to come see me. This is how you get logged into the Google Drive. Let's do this. Go ahead and let's go to the next one. I want you to do this. Text this or this message to this number, and that will help you to join remind.com, and I'll be able to send you some reminders every now and then. All right, so here's a Canvas login. You may not have ever done this before. So go here and then log in how you would to Google, and you're going to be able to get your assignments and take the quiz there. Okay. Okay, so who's eligible for work experience? You have to be 16 years or older. You must have a work permit if you're not 18 yet. And you either must have or be willing to look for an approved job, and we're going to talk about what an approved job is in a second. Okay, so the job has to be safe, moral, and legal. If you don't think it's safe, moral, legal, ask me. Also, if you have a 504 or an IEP or a caseworker, or you're in workability, don't panic. I'm going to work with you on these things. Okay, so you have a special deal, so don't freak out. But for the most part, this is what we need: safe, moral, legal. And here's some more requirements. It has to be approved. It has to be supervised. So you can't work alone. You can't work in somebody's house by yourself. You can't spin a pizza sign on the street because you're alone. You need to be supervised. You have to have people around you. You have to pay workers' compensation and taxes. So if you're getting paid cash under the table, that will absolutely not work. I can't do it. It's not even up to me. You need to pay taxes and Social Security and all that stuff. Okay, so you need to get a paycheck with a pay stub. If you get paid online, we'll figure that out, how to print up the pay stub. It can't be residential, so you can't do a cleaning service or babysitting in somebody's house. It needs to be at a business. Okay, so don't work in someone's house. No seasonal work, so Dodge Ridge probably won't work because the expectation is you have a job until the end of the semester. Okay, there has to be an employee-employer relationship, so no independent contracting, so you can't be washing and detailing somebody's car or whatever. You actually have to see your employer on a regular basis. The location, it can't be too far. If it's super far, I have to visit the job sites. I won't go that far. So if you think it's too far, ask me and I'll decide. All right, here's examples of unacceptable jobs. A student works at Olive Garden because that's way too far away. Babysitting, childcare, housekeeping in a home. No paycheck, you probably get paid cash, and it's home-based, and you don't have a supervisor. Okay, you can't work at home. Okay, door-to-door sales or holding a pizza sign on the corner, unsafe and unsupervised. Okay, working for your uncle who is not a contractor, remodeling his kitchen, getting paid cash under the table. It is unsafe because your uncle doesn't know what he's doing. He's not a real contractor. You don't get a paycheck, so you don't pay taxes. And so on and so forth. All right, so just so you know, you don't have to read this, but this is basically our agreement with the state, and that's where I'm getting some of the stuff. We can't break these things because we have a specific agreement with the state in order to be able to even run this program. Okay, so for a job, you need to stay employed. Okay, you need to work about 10 hours a week to get your 150 hours for the semester. Okay, so halfway through the school year, you need to have 150 hours, so that's about 10 hours a week. Should be easy. If you have a job change, tell me right away. If you change jobs, you have to give me new paperwork completed very quickly. you have to give them a resignation letter, and you have to give 2 weeks notice. Okay, if you don't do those things, that's a big problem. Okay, are there any reasons that your job may not be approved? So write this down on your notes. Is there any reasons that we need to talk about where your job may not be okay? And also, if you need help getting a job, we can get you to Motherlode job training, or there's lots of things we can do. So if you don't have a job yet, that's okay. We just need to you just need to be willing to do the hard work to get a job. Okay, so in order to stay in the class, you have to keep a 2.0. You have to have a good attendance and 6 or fewer truants. You can't ditch class. Otherwise, you're going to lose the privilege of being in this class. Okay, so your responsibility, attend class on Tuesdays. Okay, you might have a real emergency, so if that's the case, come with a note from your parent. And then call me that day that you're late to reschedule. We'll make it up on Thursday. You only have until the following Thursday to make it up. Okay, absences for any reason lowers the grade if you don't make it up. Okay, it's like real work. If you don't work, you don't get paid. In this class, if you don't show up, you don't get a good grade. So like I said, if you have a real emergency, we'll figure it out. Okay, so make appointments outside of class time. So don't make doctors and other appointments on Tuesdays. Okay, if you're 20 minutes late, that counts as absent. Okay, make sure you sign in when you come in the door. Okay, I'm going to have a sign-in sheet at the door. Make sure you sign in. Okay, follow directions on this sort of thing. It's your grade, so I have some very specific things I'm using as grading criteria. So make sure you understand what we're doing. It's your grade. Follow school rules. Here's the deal: leave campus immediately, except if you have school business. So if you have a place to be on campus, a teacher to be with on campus, something to do, fine. What we're saying here is don't mill around campus causing trouble. Don't sneak into other people's classes and cause trouble. So if it's not a Tuesday and it's 6th period, go to your job, go home, go do your other thing, but don't be on campus unless you actually have a reason to be here. If you actually have a reason to be here, fine. What did that say? We just don't want you causing trouble. There you go. Your class, like we said, the class is like your job. Call when you're sick at noon. Just call me when you're sick. If absences reduce your grade. All right, here's the grades. For my class, for work experience education, attendance is 30% of your grade. You just show up and you get a lot of points just for showing up. Participation, when you're in class, you answer questions, 10%. Assignments, I'll give you assignments, those are 30%. That includes turning in your pay stub. So whenever you get paid, bring in your pay stub. Your evaluation, so your employer, your boss, your supervisor, they're going to give you an evaluation, and that evaluation is 30% of your grade. And then you have to get your 150 work hours in, otherwise it all comes into a zero. So you got to work your 10 hours a week. So attendance is 30% of your grade. So if you have 0 absences, you get 100%. So you get the whole 30%. If you have 1 absence, you get 90% in this category, so on and so forth. Okay, and for every tardy, we subtract 3%, so don't be tardy. Okay, so you can see after a couple absences, this goes way down. Attendance, you can make up only 3 unexcused absences, and this is a big deal. Unexcused absences are a big deal. The only way to make that up is to take a Saturday course at Columbia College. Hopefully that doesn't happen to anybody. Okay, so if it's an excused absence, here's how you make it up. You clear the absence with the school as normal. And then call me and say, hey, I was absent, it was excused, can we make it up on Thursday? And so then I'll instead of going out and visiting job sites on Thursday, I will stay and we'll make up that class session. Okay? All right, you can read the rest. Okay, assignments are 30%. Do your daily assignments, turn in your pay stubs. I'll teach you how to share those things. We're going to do lots of assignments, and then at the end we'll do a big portfolio. So all that stuff put together is worth 30%. So in class, you have to answer questions. Okay, bring paper and pen, take notes, and do this. So the notes and the questions are 10% of your grade. Then a big deal is your employer evaluation. They're gonna grade you based on your relationship with people. Are you dependable? Do you follow directions? Are you a self-starter? And then you're gonna set a job goal with your employer, and part of that is gonna be did you meet your job goal? All right. So here's a sample grade. So if you're trying to make up work, you can go on Canvas. The login was at the beginning. You can go to Canvas and find the assignments and do the assignments. So if you miss class, go and find the work and just turn it in on the next Friday. Okay. So work goes down in points after that. So if you don't turn it in on a Tuesday, then turn it in on Friday, and if you don't turn it in on Friday, then you start to lose a lot of points. Okay, don't quit your job unless, okay, So if you're unsafe, something terrible is happening to you, yeah, quit your job. But if you just don't like it and you want to quit, see me first. Okay, and then you're going to have to find a new job and do the paperwork promptly. You're going to have to sign a resignation letter and then make sure you give 2 weeks notice. Okay, if you don't do this, it's going to be very bad for your grade. Okay, so if you don't have the common courtesy to give 2 weeks and give a resignation letter, you obviously have not learned very much from work experience. So that's a big deal. Make sure you do that. So get your new job approved. Do not start work until after it's submitted, so on and so forth. Okay. Okay, you only get to count one job for this class. So if you have 2 jobs, pick the one where you work the most hours, and that's the only one that counts. If you quit your job, you get a 3-week job search period, so you can get by without working for 3 weeks. But after that, you need to get a job and get back to work. Okay. Leaving campus. So when you leave campus, take your schedule with you and show the campus security and campus supervisors. Let them know who you are and where you're going. And after that, they should know who you are. If not, then we can get you a special slip or an ID card or something like that. Okay. All right. Be nice to the campus security and supervisors. Show them your, like I said, don't just expect that they know what's going on. Show them your schedule. No, rudeness won't be tolerated with them. And again, leave campus immediately unless you actually have some place to be and some real school business. Okay, here's some basics. Come to class on Tuesdays. Turn in your pay stubs. Turn in your classwork. Do a good job at work. So on and so forth. Get a good grade. Okay, so if you have not done so, go to Canvas and see if you can take the quiz, okay, on what we just learned. Okay, so log into Canvas, find Module 1, and take that thing. Okay, and so you should answer these questions either on the journal as well in Canvas.